What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is. I don't know what day it is. I don't care. Let's see. It's. Oh, it's May 15th. Crap, I'm supposed to call that landlord and find out whether or not I can move into the apartment that I want. It's a little early still, so um, I'm going to talk for a few minutes and then. It's probably not too early for the guy to take a call, but I don't want to. I don't know what the word is. Don't want to. Whatever. I'll call him when I'm done here. I'm not going to talk too long on here. I got. It definitely looks better in here than it did yesterday. Even after doing the coffee filtering today. So when you do the cold brew coffee, I do 4 jars at a time. So it's 2 gallons of coffee that it makes. But I have to dump all the coffee grounds out into a bowl. I have 4 mason jars, half-gallon mason jars. I have 4 lids, 4 mesh filters that I use to strain the sediment from the jars that brew to the jars that store. And then 4 of the insert coffee filters and another bowl that I use to get the coffee filters wet, because for whatever reason, not the coffee filters, the mesh strainer filters that I use to funnel the coffee from one bottle to another, they don't flow if they're not already wet. I don't know why, but this has been a thing for a long time. You have to soak them in water before before liquid will flow through them. If you don't, you'll start pouring the coffee out and it'll just sit in the filter. It'll sit in the mesh strainer and it won't go into the funnel. It'll just pool up and sit there and it won't flow. But if you get them wet first, then the coffee flows right through them. But it traps. Oh, you get most of the sediment out by doing that extra step. And it'll just, but it makes a mess. Not a huge mess. But the filters, the coffee filters, the insert filters that go in the mason jars to brew the coffee, they're a pain in the ass to clean. I've got a pretty good way of doing it now that gets all the coffee grounds out of them, but if I had better water pressure from the sink, I would be able to just force the coffee grounds out of them. But they don't. It doesn't quite work that good. But I've got, I've been doing this for a while here, so. But I'm looking at, I don't know, enough time to do. It's like I do nothing but chores right now. But I'm so behind. The floor is disgusting in here. I got to do my laundry today. But I can see as I look around by the end of today, if I work for a bit, I'm probably going to have to do the thing where I set a timer and work through the timer and then take a break, do some chores, go back, do work, come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so it's going to. There's just a lot of stuff, and I'm so tired. I'm tired of this place and the bullshit. There's so much stuff I haven't told you about this place that makes it even worse than what you already know. That there's just things I don't want to say until I'm gone. But it's so ridiculously bad. Except for the lack of a curfew and all the stupid rules, it's worse than the homeless shelter. Way worse. It's way worse than the homeless shelter. But except for the homeless shelter had all the rules, like the curfew and the bedtime. Having to go to bed, being told as a 49-year-old man or 48-year-old man what time you have to go to bed and go to sleep. Like, that is the most ridiculous shit I've ever fucking dealt with. Having some fucking guy come up and yell at everybody that it's time to go to sleep, like you're 5 years old and you just got put in your crib. So, like, I don't know. I will never, after the experience of being in a homeless shelter, and I was in a good one. Like, I would consider the one I was in to be a good one. Good people, by and large. Sometimes there was some attitude from certain people, but I think some people were just there for a job, and some people are there because they care. And it's probably a mix of both because, people got to make a living. Um, but oh man, it's I don't know. There's probably stuff I don't know about certain things. I don't know. It felt like it was a good place overall. Overall. Um I know I've heard cuz I did a lot of homework and I've watched YouTube videos, I've read things, I've heard stories about what other places are like and how bad they could be. And the one in Jamestown isn't that bad. Little things. It's not a place you want to be for an extended period of time, but um huh. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just thinking I was putting two and two together on something I saw the other day, and I'm like, huh. It's something just clicked in my head while I'm sitting here. It's not something I'm going to talk about, but oh man, this place is worse. Living here is worse in a lot of ways, other than the fact that I'm free to come and go as I want, and I don't got I stayed up late last night watching the last 3 episodes of Andor. That was pretty good. I mean, it's a slow burn. But it's a pretty good show, I thought. Um, it ties right into the movie Rogue One at the very end of the. Like, you could watch the last episode of the series and watch Rogue One and basically pick right up where you left off. But it was late, and I'm like, no, because then you watch Rogue One, you get to the end, and you want to watch A New Hope. Because they pick us, it just strings right along. Um, if anything, I don't know if I would want to do this again. There's websites out there that tie the Marvel the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Universe or Star Wars or any of these things that have all of these different shows and movies. And there are websites out there that tie them together in chronological order. The Marvel one was crazy. My son and I did this. We watched every single thing on that list in the order they were on the list. And I want to say it took 2 years to get through all of it. It was long. It was a long time. It wasn't like we were watching it every single day. But I'm going to say it took a couple of years to get through it. Um, and during the time that we were watching it, new movies were coming out, new shows. If a show came out or a movie came out that was farther back in the timeline, we'd watch that next. But if it was ahead of us in the timeline, we'd just wait until we got there. And it took that long. And now there's way more stuff out now than when we watched it back then. So it's like just the thing that me and my son would do. And so that's kind of like, I don't like watching Star Wars when my son's not with me, because it's like, I don't know, something I did with him. I would always wait and watch. Like if something new came out Star Wars wise, I would wait until he was at the house to watch it. Oh. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't even believe it's the middle of the month already. It just blows, the time goes by too fast. I can't keep track of everything. It's just, I'm such a mess. It literally feels like yesterday was May 1st. Like, it doesn't even feel like it. I don't know what's going on, but the timeline is messed up. I don't know. I got to get out of this place. It's just the fact that like people have pointed out many, many, many times, the curtains covering the windows make this place feel even more confined than it is. And so there's certain days that gets on my nerves. So if I turn off the light, it's pitch black in here. But if you saw what I see when you open up the windows here, you'd be like, nah, just leave them closed. You wouldn't want to look out these windows. I'm telling you. It's not. I tried for a day or two. It's not. It's not comfortable to have these windows with the shades pulled back. In my last house, I had a sunroom, I had windows all over the house. The front of the house was shielded from view. That's why I couldn't see the FBI in my driveway until I was in the sunroom. I mean, I don't know, this whole thing. You can really see in these videos what this situation I'm in has done. Like, I see it. If I watch a video, because I'm not watching the videos as I post them. I watched the homeless ones whenever I'd post them, just to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do next, or tried to catch certain things in my speech and whatnot that I didn't like. But these ones right now, this Chaos to Comeback video series, I haven't watched it. I've watched a few of them after they're on YouTube and they go live. Mainly because I get a bunch of comments about something and I can't remember, and I'm like, I wonder what I said. And then I watch it and I'm like, man, you're you're shot the fuck out, dude. That's what I say to myself. Wow, you look fucking done. And there's people that make these random comments and shit, and some of them aren't even trolls. But it's like, if you've never been through anything like this, then shut your fucking mouth. Because you don't know what the fuck this actually feels like and what this is actually like to go through when you add it all up. Being ripped away from your home and your life and your family and your friends, to go to prison for 2 years because you posted some shit on Twitter. In America, land of the free. And then come back to being thrown out into the fucking street to be homeless, followed by come down to Texas where you don't know anybody and everything that's happened since I've been here, and then ending up in this shithole dump with this fucking landlord that's driving you out. Like, if you've never been through that level of shit before, then shut your fucking mouth. Just shut the fuck up. You have nothing to say that can relate to any of this. Like, some of these people, they've lived a good life, they have a nice home, they get a blowjob from their wife every year for their birthday. They have the white picket fence, and then they're making all these fucking comments. And I'm just like, you know what? How about shut the fuck up? There's nothing you can say that relates to what this is. You've never been through anything like this, so shut the fuck up. That's all it's just, I don't know. Sometimes that's how I feel. I'm in a bad mood this week. I'm not gonna lie. It's just, but I don't know. Even if I get the good news that I'm gonna have a place to live that I like today, time is it? Yeah, about 15 minutes. I'm gonna give him a call, and then I'll probably pick the video right back up. Even if I get the good news, it's not going to have. I'm actually going to be more stressed out thinking about, oh, now I've got to pack and move at the end. Like that, I'm not. I'm. It's going to take till the end of June till I make my rent payment for July, and all my bills are paid and everything is square, and I deal with the probation office for the having, because once I move, I'm gonna have to have probation up my ass. They're gonna have to come and inspect the place and talk to me and who knows what else, and it's just gonna be, there's gonna be a whole bunch of hassle that I already got a knot in my stomach when I just mentioned it, just talking about it. So it's like just trying to calm down because just thinking about all that makes me stressed. But I know that it's for a good cause. It's not. They say moving is one of the most stressful things you can do in life. And I've moved. This will be the 5th time in a fucking year that I've had to move. Or just, gather my belongings and, you know, shove off to go somewhere else. It's even stressful when they move you around in prison. The 2 years that I was in prison, minus a couple months, in the jail that I was at, you'd have to get ready. You'd have to be ready at a moment's notice to pack your shit and move to a different cell, or you might have to move to a different cell block. In the first month, well, let's see, one, two, I'm just trying to think, 3, 4, 5. I can specific 6. I can specifically remember moving cells or moving cell blocks 5 or 6 times in the first month. And then I got moved to the honor block where the chiller inmates get sent, the ones that work in the kitchen and stuff like that. And then I stayed there for the rest of the time that I was in that jail. So that would have been 13 months. I probably changed cells and changed cellmates I bet I changed cellmates and cells 40 times. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to count the number of different cells and cellmates that I had in that span of time. Probably 40. And then when I went to the next jail, I was there was one there, and then I moved to it. I was in a cell block. Then I got moved to another cell block where I was in a cell, and I never changed cells, but I had one, two, three different cellmates there. But that was only 2 months. And then I moved to the place in Brooklyn where I had one, and then two, and then I had two. So I moved cells twice in the span of a week there, and then got moved to another cell block where I was in a cell for the rest of the time there with somebody. Locked pretty much in the cell 24 hours a day. And then I went to Danbury where I'd never moved cell blocks, but I had to pack up my bunk and move my bunk at least 5 times. I went from that bunk to 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 that. Yeah, I mean literally, like, in the span of 20 months, I probably had to grab everything I had and move 80 times. Easily 80 times. Easily 80 times. I mean, if you counted every single time I had to move all my stuff from one spot to another, and that doesn't count the 4 different times I had to go from jail to jail to jail to jail. And then I come out, I'm living with my ex for 45 days, then I'm homeless in the homeless shelter, then I have to pack everything up and go to Houston, then I have to pack everything up and come here, and now I've got to pack everything up and move again. Who the fuck can have a normal state of mind after all of that? Like, who the fuck's gonna come out normal after that? How many people do you know? How many of you would be in a great state of mind after going through that? And that's just the moving your stuff aspect of everything. Like, do you understand how, like, from August 12th of 2022, it's May 15th, 2025, I've not been able to sit still in one place for more than, like, here would be 4 months. 4 months would be the longest to be in one spot. About 4 months at my friend's house, 4 months here. So I mean, that's an improvement, being able to last 4 months from place to place. I mean, how long was I homeless? 16 weeks, so about 4 months. I was homeless for 4 months, at my friend's for about 4 months, give or take. Here for 4 months. That's a year. That's 3 places in a year. If you go a year from today back. Because May 17th was the day I ended up homeless. So, I think something I could do to get out of my mind would be to look at my journal that I was keeping. But no, I don't think that would be a good idea at all right now, actually. So today would have been when, what day is today? Today's Thursday. So a year ago today would have been Wednesday. And I already knew I was homeless in 2 days. I think today would have been the day, or tomorrow would have been the day that somebody came up from Pittsburgh with a van to throw all my stuff in it. So I was frantically scrambling today and tomorrow a year ago to become homeless. Packing stuff, figuring out what I want them to take to Pittsburgh, figuring out what I'm going to put in my backpack to survive with, and everything. Wow, just putting myself in that spot, putting myself, like, transporting my mind to what I felt like, that there's no comparison between I'm chilling in a chair in my tiny house right now, relaxing. A year ago today, I was in the biggest panic attack of my life. After having been like I remember just sitting there thinking about how this choose my words carefully, this person was the worst person I've ever known in my life. Like the betrayal, the stabbing in the back, the you have a place to come home to turned into get out to go live in the fucking street, you piece of shit, like that. Holy fuck, man. So it is better. I mean, there's no doubt about, if I look back a year ago today, it don't matter how this phone call goes with this prospective landlord today, because even if he says I'm going to rent it to somebody else, even if he says that today, things are better than they were a year ago. There's no doubt. I mean, there's absolutely no comparison between what I'm dealing with today and what I was dealing with a year ago today. My God, there's no comparison. That was like the lowest day of my life. Like, that felt worse. That was worse than being in prison. That was worse than everything I had been through up to that point. And, I thought the finish line was right at, when I came home from prison, it was so many people come home from something like that to what, they get like welcomed home. Not me. Not me. Child molesters have their fucking kids waiting for them when they walk out the gate of prison, getting all kinds of hugs and kisses. But the guy who said mean shit on Twitter, no. Hell no. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. And it really, like, imagine if you were in my shoes and you're watching all these child molesters get a happy-go-lucky life when they walk out the door, and nobody wants to give you the time of day because you said mean shit on Twitter. Like, how does that make you feel? How would that make you feel? Child molesters are treated better than you. Like, that would make you want to fucking kill yourself, to be honest. If you want to know. That would make somebody want to commit suicide at that point. That child molesters have a better, people like a child molester more than they like you. Or women out there who'd rather be with a child molester than a guy who said mean shit on Twitter. Really? Wow. Wow. I'm not. The thing, I wish I could say I was exaggerating, but it's true. It's true. I mean, I was there. I saw it. Fuck, man. And some of the shit these people did, the ones I could remember their names, I had to look at. I had to. You're not gonna come home from that shit and not look up some names on Google. And some of the shit I saw was just mind blowing. Like the example of the guy who worked at CNN as Chris Cuomo's right hand man, the producer of his show, is doing 20 years for raping a 9-year-old girl. He brought the girl's mother and the 9-year-old girl up to his ski chalet up in Burlington, Vermont, or in that area somewhere. Could have been basically near Killington, the ski resort. Of course, he had a mansion up there too. He brought the mother and the daughter up there, and so he could rape the daughter in front of the mother or some shit. I don't know. The mother was in on this too or something. It was this whole thing's fucked up. That dude's gonna have an easier time getting out of prison and getting his life back together than I am. Granted, he's got some years left. He's not gonna be young when he gets out. I want to say he's close to my age. I don't know exactly what age, but he's probably got 18 more years before he's going to see the outside of that fence. I couldn't imagine living 18 years in that place if they don't move him around to some other place or whatever, if they keep him there for the whole time. It was okay for 4 months because it was the best place that I was at in terms of my whole ride through the system. And it was so much more relaxed than the other places I had been and safer than the other places I had been. And you could go outside and you could go to the library, you could read books, play pickleball. You know, there was a gym, you could play indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, baseball, football. You could just you could do all kinds of stuff. And so to pass the time, I just did as many different things as I could think of to do. And then when the place is locked down and we're not allowed to leave our bunk, we're not allowed to leave the dorms because it's foggy out or because something happened. One day, somebody threw a package over the fence from the outside of the prison, and so there was like a manhunt to find the person that did it. They caught him, but we were locked down for I think a day and a half for something like that. And so I had lots of books to read during those periods of time. And so that was good enough. There were TVs you could watch, but you have to be able to prove that you're not a child molester to watch TV in prison. So, in the federal prison. And I remember one day the wardens came around and yelled and screamed at everybody and they said, if you don't stop doing that, we're going to take all the TVs away. And then everybody went right back to doing that. Not a single child molester went and watched TV after the wardens threatened to take the TVs away because nobody wants to get stabbed. And you're safer in a place like that because if somebody does something like that, like it's not considered a privilege, but it's the opposite of a privilege. Everybody there knows that if they do something bad, they're going to get scooped up and taken to a federal prison that's worse. And there's different levels. They have there's the low, which was I was at a low. Below a low, there's a place called a camp. And so a federal prison camp has no barbed wire fence. You can come and go. You're free. You could literally have someone pull up in front. You could get in the car and leave, and then you would be a fugitive. But you could leave. You can get, in some cases, passes to go into town and do things. Like it's not a halfway house, which halfway house would be the next thing down from a camp. And then above a low, they have a medium, which is more locked down than a low, with less privileges and stuff like that. And then you have the maximum, which is the penitentiary, that's hell on earth. And that's basically where you're going if you're spending the rest of your life and you're a violent, that's like Alcatraz. Or Alcatraz is higher than that. Was higher than that. Well, is higher than that if Donald Trump rebuilds Alcatraz. But they have these supermax prisons like Florence, Colorado, and there's another one somewhere. Those are hell on earth times 10. So, those are for the worst of the worst. And then they have the federal prison in Indiana where they put people to death. That's where the death penalties get carried out. So being in the low, it's like, think about the worst community college campus that you've ever seen in your life, surrounded by barbed wire. And that's kind of what it's like. It's like a military camp. And so it's like, for the 4 months I was there, it was doable. Compared to the hellholes I'd been in before that, it was very doable. But, so life is way better. Life is way better. A year ago, right now, the 18th of May will be the 1 year anniversary of having started this channel. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to make this phone call. I've already got, I got a little nervous energy, and until I make that phone call, I can get closure one way or another. I'll figure out what's going on from there, but I'll let you know what's happening later. Well, I just left a message and sent the guy a text. I had a feeling he wasn't going to pick up his phone. I know what he does for a living, and I know that he has independence in his job, but it's the kind of job that when you're in the middle of something, you probably aren't even paying any attention to your phone. So that's fine. But he probably has lots of time during the day where he could pick up the phone and respond. So I'm going to give it some time, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I should have called earlier today, but I just didn't want to. I mean, I don't know, just didn't feel right. It felt like I already had it in my head I would call right around this time. So, I wasn't going to call it like 7, 8. I'm not going to call the dude before he's leaving for work, because I know what that's like. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody calls and interrupts me while I'm getting ready to go to my job, I'm going to be I'm not going to be mad at them, but I'm going to be like, oh, I got to get ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that to somebody. So, and mid-morning, it was kind of like, I'm rolling the dice. Is he going to answer, or is he going to put me to voicemail or text? So I left a voicemail and a text. I said, I know you're probably working. Feel free to get back to me whenever you have a chance. But I do know that what he does for a living, it's not like the bakery where I have to leave my phone in my pocket all day and I can only check it when I go to the bathroom or different times of the day. but even so, it's like I can text somebody if I'm at the bakery and I get a text from somebody, I can respond at some point, but it's not going to be, it might not be for a couple hours. So, um, not a big deal. I wasn't expecting this to be smooth sailing today. I just hope that by the end of the day I get closure one way or another. Yes, you can move in. No, I'm renting it to somebody else, and we'll go from there. And then I've got this other place in my pocket that I will make a move on. And if it goes well, if I can do it, I money wise I could afford to go and do it today. I mean, I'd still have today and tomorrow. The other place would leave me enough money to go get groceries as well and just be like, okay, now I just got to rustle up some more funds before I get the moving van and I'm all set and get the electric turned on. That's the big one that's gonna be like, that's the I don't know what the word is. That's the one that will give me the most butterflies in my stomach until I get it done. And it really just it'll boil down to a phone call, but how much money are they going to want to drag out of me for a security deposit on the electric bill before I move in is what that boils down to. So and I think that, I'm overthinking it, as I like to do. So I'm just holding tight. That's that. I think this is a big. I think all of this nervous energy is a big reason why I'm having a hard time focusing today and yesterday. Just being on the verge of maybe something good happening is like, it's like the night before Christmas in some ways, where you just, when you were a little kid and you can't sleep because you're like, ooh, what presents am I gonna get? Like, you get to a certain age and you don't give a shit about it anymore. But I want to get to a point where I don't live in this ball of nervous energy anymore. And the only thing that's going to help me with that is some sort of stability to where I can just relax and know that that I have some stability. Nothing is truly ever stable, because I mean anything can happen. But the perception of stability would even be nice right now, because I haven't even had that. But I'm having all these flashbacks, as I have for the last month, of just what things were like a year ago. Like, I'm thinking about that hellhole prison in Brooklyn. Holy fuck, that place was insanely crazy. It was bad. Mm. Just so much crazy shit. So much. I'm just like, oh, I can't even like wrap my head around what I've been through in the last 3 years. It's so crazy. I can't, like, oh my god, I just thought of the guy I saw running off the cell block trying to keep his body organs from falling off after he was all stabbed up, bleeding all over. I'm like, well, is that a spleen on the ground? Like, holy shit, like, just Oh my God. Like just the thoughts. If I could plug in a wire and play the thoughts I'm having on this video channel for you guys, like just the memories and the things, it's like, oh my God. You'd just be glued to the TV. You wouldn't be able to put it down after that. The crazy shit I've seen in the last 3 years. So yeah, it would be nice to get some sort of response. If I don't get a response from the guy today, I'll try and call him this evening. I'll try to give it like a reasonable time, like between 7 and 8. And if I get nothing, then game over. I'm moving on. Because even though I like the apartment and I think it would be a nice place to live, it's not worth the hassle of being jerked around for. It'll be 2 weeks on Sunday since I looked at the place, and I'm ready to take it. If I had done this with any other place that was available to me that I looked, any of the other places I've looked at, if I would have said yes, I'll take it, here's the money, the keys would already be in my hand. Even if they wanted to do a background check and things like that. And only one of them said he did. Out of the other ones that were available. The other places, they were like, nah, you're good. Like they weren't like that. But if nothing else, there is a place I can go on Sunday and ride a bicycle 80 miles to look at that might be a good place. But it's also 20 miles from the bakery. It's a nicer place than the one I'm thinking about taking. It's about $100 a month more, give or take. For an extra $100, it would have a dishwasher and a washer and dryer, and man, it's like I might have to go if this guy says no. That other place seems like it's good enough that I might have to just go do it. I'm thinking, like, could I do it after the bakery on Saturday instead of doing it on Sunday? But I wouldn't be able to get. That would be a rough ride. That would be leaving the bakery at 4:30 on Saturday, with the probability of being at the place to look at it 5:30, 6. Let's say sometime around 7 o'clock at the latest. That would be the 7 o'clock would be the time that I would say I can meet you there. And then getting home at about 11 o'clock at night. Getting home after 11. Well, it'd probably be after 11 o'clock at night, and that would be 80 miles total for the day, plus the 8 hours at the bakery, but that would give me Sunday to recover. It would save mileage because I wouldn't have to go, because it would be 80 miles on Saturday and 0 on Sunday versus 40 miles on Saturday and 80 on Sunday and then 40 on Monday. $160 miles in 3 days versus $120 with a day off in the middle. I don't know, man. I feel like Sunday's better because at least I can make a day out of it. Get up, get dressed, go. If it's going to take I could leave at like 10 in the morning and be there at like 2 in the afternoon with padding, because I go faster than 10 miles an hour, so I could be there earlier and possibly even give a phone call out if I know I'm running really early, and if I'm or I can just stop and grab a bite to eat if I'm running really early and the person can't meet me any earlier, then I could just stop and grab a bite to eat somewhere and chill. Um, I already know that the 40 miles out will be pretty relatively easy. It's going to be somewhere around mile 50 or 60 that I get sick of it and don't want to do it anymore. But right around that mileage marker I'll be back where the bakery is, because the bakery is exactly halfway and I will have to ride right past it to go to this place. It's kind of weird. But on the way home, I could take some of the bicycle paths through the woodlands, and just like I could make at least the last 20 miles of it, I could turn it into a little bit more tranquil of a ride. Like, if I'm not going to be in a hurry pace wise, I could at least take some of the bicycle paths and just take some of the quieter ways that I can get through the woodlands and the bike trail. And I'm just trying to think this all through. It's like, I don't know, man. I can't live like this. I can't live like this for a lot longer. I can't. Who the fuck can do this? Every time you gotta fucking run an errand or go do something, it's an 80-mile bicycle ride. Like, how the fuck can anybody survive like this? I guess it's better than so 80 miles, how long is that actually gonna take? If I left at 10, 8 hours. So that's like 8 hours. What would that be the equivalent of when I was homeless in Jamestown? 8 hours of cycling to go 80 miles. That's how much time I have to actually plan for. It doesn't mean that's how long it'll take. Homeless, if you could walk 3 miles an hour, 24 miles in a day. I never had to walk 24 miles in a day in Jamestown. But if I had to walk somewhere that was 12 miles away from the homeless shelter, that's the equivalent of what I'm going to have to do on Sunday if I go look at this place. And it almost feels to me like, I don't know, man. Being able to do laundry without going anywhere. Being able to, having a dishwasher. Paying $100 more than this other place that doesn't have either one of those things. Having to go to a laundromat on a bicycle every time I need to do laundry. Like, if it costs $10 a week to do laundry at a laundromat, that's $40 a month. Man, it's like I'm overanalyzing everything right now, but I have to just think about it in terms of your own life. If this was how you had to live, knowing that you have to go on a 40-mile bike, like, how many bicycle rides can you do before you're just like, I can't do this shit anymore? And you're listening to a guy talk who would love to get on a bicycle and ride across the United States from coast to coast. I don't know what beach I would start at, but starting at some beach somewhere and ending up at a beach somewhere on the East Coast. A lot of people do it from, I don't know, they start in lots of different places, but a lot of people end in Washington, D.C. for some reason. And I'm like, well, that's not all the way across. um, you got to at least go to the coast. Maryland, somewhere down there. Ocean City, Virginia Beach. If you're going to go in that region, one of those places, somewhere on the beach, somewhere on the ocean. Um, but a lot of people who ride across the country take the Great Allegheny Passage and the C&O Canal Trail because it cuts through the Appalachian Mountains without major mountain climbs. And if you're going west to east, that can be significant because you're probably tired by the time you get there. And it's a welcome break from being on roads when you can go 400 miles, 350 miles without having to be on roads and just be in the woods and peaceful and tranquil and all that comes with riding that trail. It's a very, very, I've met many people on that trail who are in the last stages of their cross-country bicycle trip. Because you get talking to people, you meet people when you go and you do those things. I just saw a picture of me hanging out with a dude who had just finished his cross-country bike ride, standing in front of the White House. I had just finished my bike ride from Pittsburgh to DC, and this guy had just finished a cross-country ride at the same time. And we hung out at the same campsite the night before, but he was kind of like sleeping. He went to bed like before the sun even went down, so I was just hanging out by a campfire the whole night. But he seemed like a cool dude, and the next day we started talking and we started riding together a little bit. Then I forgot something. I had to turn around and go back, pick up something I left at the campsite. Then I got back on my bike and went forward again, and I didn't catch up to him, but when I got to the White House, he was at the White House, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And we talked for a bit, and then I followed him on social media. He was going on all these random adventures. I don't know how he could afford, I don't know, I don't even want to know how somebody can pull that off, and financially and everything else that goes with it, but somebody was helping him, or he saved money and did it. Interesting anyway. Like, this whole week has been a mental slog. And I already know it's because I'm waiting to hear about this apartment. I feel like it's a blocker. Like, it's blocking me from moving forward. I found a place that I really like, and I just have it in my head. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying not to feel this way, but I just have it in my head that of course you're not going to get the place because you finally found one that you want. So of course you're not going to be able to get it. And I'm just so used to being handed shit on a shingle every fucking day that I've just become used to getting. I just expect nothing's ever going to work out ever again. And that's one of the biggest problems that I'm having right now, because you can't, it's like a catch-22. Nothing's ever going to work out for you if you constantly believe it won't. And I can just picture it in my mind, moving into the place that I don't want, going, great, I get to live in another fucking dump for the next, you know what I mean? Like that's going to be the feeling when I move into my next place. Like, I'm going to open up the door and be like, I could get to live in this fucking dump for another however many. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the feeling I want to have when I go into my next place. But how long is this guy gonna take? But like I said, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to roll the dice again. Do I go on the 80-mile bike ride to look at this place, or do I settle for the one here that's close by that I could finish the deal before Sunday? Or am I getting into this over analysis over nothing because the guy with the apartment that I want is going to let me move in? This is the thing. It's just such a. I guarantee you, if I watched a video from before April 3rd, I was in a completely different state of mind than I am right now. Like, this is the worst I've felt since I've been. I gotta go. I got something I gotta do, and we'll talk in a minute. All right, my decision's made. I'm gonna try to make a move on the shotgun house today. I just got a text message and a voicemail from this landlord. He says, I'm going to extend making my decision until Saturday now because I have a whole bunch of more people that want to come and look at the place. It's over, baby. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done getting jerked around by this fucking guy. I'm done. Obviously, he's not going to choose me at this point because, like, literally, it'll be 2 weeks since I looked at the place. He goes, well, he said he had a bunch of people come over last night and looked at it. And now he has a bunch more people that want to come and look at it. And he's going to make up his mind by Saturday. At which point he's going to say, well, I got more people wanting to come look at it. I'm done. I'm not going to get... This tells you what the fucking guy is going to be like to rent from. If he's being this much of a fucking dick when it comes to finding a tenant... Like, I was like, right then and there, when I looked at the place, I'm like, I'll do this. Let's make this happen. No, I'm going to keep shopping around until I find the perfect tenant. I'm going to have 150 people look at the place, and I'm going to make a profile of each one, and then I'm going to make my decision based on who I think would be the best one. So, I'm going to try and get a hold of that other landlord today. I don't think I want to ride my bike. This is the thing, though. I got to make this decision now about whether I want to just move into the place that's available, if it's available, or do I hold out until the weekend and go look at this place where it's going to be an 80-mile fucking bicycle ride and see if that's actually a good place, because it has, it has a washer and dryer in the unit and a dishwasher. I think it has a dishwasher. It's hard to tell from the photos because you're looking at it from an angle on the side, but I'm like, that looks like a dishwasher. So, maybe I don't know. I think what I need to do is take a breath, figure out I have to sit down. I'm sitting in front of the computer right now to work. I'm getting caught up on my digital chores, let's call it, for what it is. I do have to go through and update my accounting software to make sure to know exactly how much I have in the bank right now, what's coming in, what's going out, what bills have to be paid before the end of the month. I'm also getting a paycheck tomorrow. I can estimate what it's going to be, but I never know what it's going to be. 'Cause you know how it is, taxes and all that bullshit. You never know what you're actually going to have until you get paid. If you got a salary, if I had a salary, yes, I could pretty much estimate it down to within, $5 to $10. But when it's the way it is right now, I never know what the fuck it's going to be. Plus, we get tips, and those tips get added to our paycheck, and those, fluctuate based on how busy we are. And those can add a significant amount to the small paychecks I get. They can increase it by a decent amount. They're pretty consistent too. The way that the apps, just the way it works. We get tips. And they get spread evenly amongst everybody that works there. And how to explain it? It's based on how many out. I think it's like all the tips for the week go into a bucket, a digital bucket, and then they're split evenly across the number of hours worked for the whole week by all employees, and then designated out based on how many hours you worked. So it's fair, and that's fine. It's not like working in a restaurant where you're a waitress or a server and you're getting tips and you put them in your pocket and go home with it. It's hard to know. I can estimate, and I can estimate within a reasonable amount, and that'll tell me. But I think I gotta let go of this apartment that I want, because it's over. The guy's jerking me around for 2 more fucking days, and he keeps doing this over and over again. Oh, I'm gonna have more people come and look at it. Oh, I'm gonna have a few more people come and look at it. Fine. I'm done. I'm done with your fucking ass. I'm done. It's a beautiful apartment. I would like to have it, but it's over. It's over. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I've done this. I went and looked at the place. I spent an hour or so talking to the guy. I was like, I will do this right now. He jerked me around for a whole week and then told me to wait until Thursday again. And now he's telling me I'm going to make my decision on Friday. Forget it, dude. Forget it. You rent it to somebody else. I don't give a fuck about it at this point. It's over. I'm not. He could call me on Saturday and I'll just be like, give it to someone else. I don't want it. I'm there. So, but I do have other places, and it is the 15th. I want to make this happen. So I think I am going to make a move on the shotgun house. But I really have to look at this other opportunity and see if I can afford the down payment. Because having a washer and dryer on the property and a dishwasher, that's a total bonus. That's not something I need, give a shit about, anything. But it's a plus. It's an absolute plus. So I feel like I can't just walk away from that one when that's a possibility. So I think I'm going to have to I really feel like I don't know. I just feel like I can't get jerked around by this fucking guy anymore. And now think about it. If this guy is being like this right now, and he was kind of wishy-washy on signing a year lease. He said it would be more like a month-to-month kind of a thing. So, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm not locked in to a 1-year lease, but he's like, well, I can make an agreement that says you'll be here for a year, but you could also leave when, like, he could just be like, you know what, I want to rent to somebody else. Get out. He could just do that on a whim. You know what I mean? Like, what if I move into the place and I'm all set up and I get comfortable and I'm there for 2 months and he goes, I think I found somebody else I'd rather rent to, so you're going to have to leave at the end of the month. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This whole thing got real shady, and I'm like, you know, as nice as the place is, it's not going to work. So, it's not a big deal. I made up my mind this morning that if that guy jerks me around one more time, I'm done with it, and I'm sticking to that. So my decision now is, do I go for an 80-mile bike ride to look at a place this weekend, or do I just cave in and take the one that I think is still available, even though there's a lot of problems that I'm going to have with that place? I don't know. I'm gonna make some decisions. I'll let you know what's going on, but for now it's gonna be peace out. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna keep stringing little video clips together as I go through today, tomorrow, whatever. I made the decision to. I looked at the ad again. I looked at some other things. I reached out to the landlord with the mobile home that has the washer and dryer and possibly a dishwasher on the property, and asked her a few questions that would... I'm going to go up there on Sunday to take a look at it. I'm not going to do it after work on Saturday. I'm going to just suck it up and go on the 80-mile bicycle ride Sunday, at which point I'm going to have to get right back up and do the 40-mile ride and bakery thing on Monday. And Tuesday, I'm going to be out of commission. Again, this is how life is right now. As soon as that... Honestly, when I called the guy a week after looking at the apartment and he jerked me around for half an hour on the phone telling me, you know, he's too picky. He's going to be more... How do I put it? If I was going to like an apartment complex where they make you jump through all kinds of hoops and make it more difficult to get an apartment than a bank would put you through to get a mortgage, they'll at least start the process. If I went and looked at the place and said, okay, I want to do this. Okay, pay the application fee. We'll get the process started, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll tell me down the road, oh, no, we can't let you move here. This guy won't even start the process. It's the 15th of the month. I looked at the place on... Let me take a look at exactly what day it was. It was the 3rd. It was May 3rd. I looked at the place. 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks ago. So now we're halfway through the month and he's still jerking me around. So what if he decides he'll rent the place to me, and then he wants me to jump through some hoops, and then on the 29th he tells me, no, I'm sorry, you can't move in. I'm not playing this game with this fucker. So that I've crossed it off my list. And I'm okay with that. Closure. I said I needed closure today so that I could move forward. I've closed it. This other place is too good to pass up. I have to go take a look at it at least I at least have to go take a look at it. Have to at least take a look at it. Yeah, that's where it's gonna. No, hold on. Is this one? Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. I'm bookmarking it actually so that I can easily find it again. Because Facebook Marketplace is such a clusterfuck that I'm bookmarking the specific ad just so I can go right to it from my bookmark screen while I talk to you guys. But I'm looking at this place. It's got mobile home for rent, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, including a washer and dryer, near a lake. I would say like a 4-mile bicycle ride to go swimming with some alligators if I want to get, if it's so hot, if it's so unbearably hot in Texas that I just can't take it anymore and I need to go cool off in a refreshing lake, I can go swim with the alligators in this lake, and maybe that would be fun. I don't know, maybe I can get eaten by an alligator and I don't have to fucking deal with life anymore. So maybe I can get hit by a car on the way. Maybe I can get chased by an alligator and then hit by a car on my way back from the lake. I don't know, whatever. But I'm looking at this place. It's small. It's a single wide trailer from the outside. It's a single wide. It's got, a little kitchen. But the pictures of the kitchen, I can see a coil electric stove, which but it's got a vent hood above it. There's a microwave in the picture. I don't know, these could be pictures of when somebody was living in it. But it's at least got a stove. I don't see a refrigerator. So that's got to be something I ask. Without a refrigerator, I might just say forget it. But I mean, it should have a refrigerator. I just don't. Some of these landlords take the shittiest photos of their places that you can imagine. Like, people want to see the place. They want to see the kitchen. Like, I can kind of see the kitchen in a couple of photos, but I really can't see the kitchen, if you know what I'm saying. There's 2 bathrooms. I can see 1 bathroom in this picture. I can see, like, that doesn't make the pictures don't make any fucking sense. A lot of people will put like a video walkthrough of their place, and that actually is a very smart thing to do. The place doesn't look great, but it doesn't look like a dump. You know what I'm saying? It's outdated. It is what it is. It's a place. It's got the titty nipple lamps on the ceiling. You know what I'm talking about? The dome lamps with the little titty nipple in the middle. It's got those lights. It's outdated. It's kind of like 80s, maybe. I see a little bit of a second bathroom here, but I can't make, it's like she opened the door and just snapped a picture that you can't really see what the hell is in there. And I can't see the bedrooms. I can't see, like, I can kind of see that there's a room back there. Like, I can't really see it. It doesn't look big. How is that 2-bedroom? I don't know. As she counts, sometimes these fucking people count the living room as a bedroom, but it has 2 bathrooms. So it's hard to know. It's definitely, it's bigger than this. It's bigger than what I'm living in right now. And there's no photo of the washer and dryer. So I don't even see where you would have the washer and dryer. Like, the photos are terrible. Usually when they post bad photos like this and you go to look at the place is better than the photos made it appear. I've seen that a million times. When I looked at the dream home that I lived in, the photos didn't do the place justice. The photos made me want to come and look at it, but when I saw it in person, it was way better than the photos made it look, because the photos were bad. But this place, I don't know what I would do in terms of where I'd put the bicycles and work on them, but this floor wouldn't be a big deal to get grease and grime on it, because it would come right off. You'd be able to wipe it right off. There'd be plenty of room to work in this one room I see, if I had to bring the bicycles. I would have to store the bicycles indoors here in the place. So I don't know. Price-wise, it's up there at the top of my limit. It checks off some boxes. But this is the last one. This is the last one I'm going to look at. I just feel like I should probably consider this one before I make my final move. I do have a little bit of time to make this happen, and great. Yeah, I'm reading an email at the same time I talk about this, but yeah, I've made my mind up. I've crossed the place I want off my list because the guy's jerking me around, and that just, like I said, that just tells you what the guy's going to be like to deal with. And do I want to get in a situation where I move into a place like that and then he goes, I found somebody better, you got to get out? He could do that. I don't feel like that's a good situation based on how this guy's been acting since I saw the place. And I don't think he has any intention of renting it to me in the first place, but why he's just going to keep jerking me around in case he just needs to make a decision or whatever. But if I go and look at this place on Sunday, I will at least... Here's the thing. What happens if he calls me up on Saturday and says, I would like to rent the place out to you? After I just said this to you guys. So I'm trying to confirm the other place to go look at on Sunday. And, I'm trying to confirm to go look at the other place on Sunday. And, this little shotgun house, it's not bad. It's like a tiny house. It's just long. It's taller ceilings than this. It's like an actual, like it's got real ceilings. It's got recessed lighting in the ceiling. Big, wide open space when you come in with a kitchen area off to the left. But when I looked at it, they hadn't put in a stove or a fridge. And they said they were going to. That's a big deal to me. Saying that you're going to and doing it are two different things. But give them the benefit of the doubt. It's new construction, but it's like they put old cabinets in it for the kitchen area. It's like they found a countertop and a sink and some cabinets and stuff and threw them in here, but everything else is new. It's kind of weird. It's got a mini split heating and AC system right in the middle of it, and a system like that will keep this place nice. And then there's a second room that could be a bedroom or a whatever room. And then it's got another room behind that that's a bathroom. And the bathroom had a really nice bathtub. And it wasn't bad. There were just certain things about it. I'm like, I don't know. It's just there's certain things about this place that there's a reason why I looked at this at the beginning of April, and here it's May 15th, and it's still showing as available. I'm sure other people have come to look at it and been like, yeah, maybe. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. That's what I'm getting. It's way better than where I'm at right now. Way better. But it's not great. It's not like I look at the pictures and I'm like, I could do better than this for the price. And this other place that I'm thinking about, that I'm trying to confirm to go look at, I've already made up my mind. It's over. Go on Sunday, look at this other place. It's listed as a townhouse. Get out of here. It's a trailer. But I looked at it on Google Earth too, so I could see the surrounding neighborhood. It's definitely more quiet and peaceful looking than anything around where I am right now. The place that I really wanted, that would have been okay, but I get the feel. I did some homework. I was looking at the landlord, because the one thing on Facebook Marketplace, you can look at the landlord's profile. It says she lives in the neighborhood where I live right now. So this is like a rental property, and it's 40 miles away. So I'm not going to be having the landlord up my ass on a regular basis, like day after day, having to walk past the landlord all the time. Like, it's going to be my place. I just pay a bill. Something's broke, come fix it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, going to I just have to suck it up and realize that she definitely has multiple rental properties. Oh, wow, that one looks nice. So, yeah, she's definitely got multiple rental properties. Listed on Facebook. This one looks really nice. I don't know about the neighborhood or where it is. Where is this? It's probably way too far. Yeah, that's way too far. She's got a nicer property. What looks way nicer. Oh my goodness, that looks really nice. But it's so far. It's like way the hell out there. So no, it's not even something I could bookmark. But anyway, okay, that makes sense. She picked up a couple of little properties to rent out. That's probably how she makes some side money, a little side hustle or whatever. Cool, good for you. But yeah, this is this could work. This could work. I can't just let this one sit, or I can't. Oh wow. Oh yeah, that one's in bad shape. So it seems like, yeah, okay, she's flipping she buys mobile homes and either rents them or flips them. So that's what I'm getting. I'm looking at her profile. So it's not great. It's not much to look at. But if it has a dishwasher, a washer and dryer, the only thing that would be a pain in the ass is grocery shopping because it's a little bit out there. But It's a little ways out there, so there's no groceries to walk to, unfortunately. So grocery shopping would be going to a grocery store that's 5 miles away, which isn't, 5 miles isn't that bad. Set up a bicycle just for grocery shopping. Set up a bicycle just for grocery shopping with the proper racks and stuff on it. Now, come on. This one here is probably the closest one from what I remember. Yeah, Kroger. And there's a Walmart Supercenter. And it is 4.9 miles to go to the grocery store. And I don't really see anything in between. I don't see anything in between there that would be like a Dollar General or something where you could get some things. There's like a little convenience store that you could walk to, but it looks really weak. To say the least, it looks weak as hell. But maybe it's actually decent. Maybe you could use that as a grocery store. Let me, I don't know, I don't see any pictures of it. Reviews. It's like a little, yeah, you can get like it's like bait and tackle shop. So little country store. So there is a little country store. Who knows what they sell or what they have available. But you'd have to but if you want to go 5 miles, there's a grocery store. So, between Amazon, being able to get your dry goods on Amazon delivered to you, and just go to the grocery store for fresh meats and just like fresh fruits, meats, and perishable things like meat, produce, that kind of stuff, you could make it work. And it's only until you get a car. It's only until I get a car. So, at that point, I don't know. I just got to figure this out. I think it's going to work. But yeah, I'm just going to wait until I get a response from this. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but see, you can see it already. It's like the clarity of it. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Maybe is the worst answer you could give me. Yes or no is what I need to know. Shit or get off the pot. So, this guy doesn't want to shit or get off the pot. He just wants to sit there and read a fucking book. And it's like, there's better places to sit and read. Shit or get off the fucking pot. And so, all I'm going to do is move on. I've made up my mind. I've got one place left that is viable. It's still available. I'm trying not to do it. And I think this other place that I just saw is viable. It will work if it will work. And if I can do my laundry and if a dishwasher, holy crap. A dishwasher would help me. That's a huge thing. It's not something I care about. It's not. A dishwasher has absolutely zero factor in whether I would move into a place or not. Washer and dryer for clothes, absolutely. That's a big one. Because having to go for a bicycle ride to wash clothes, it costs probably $10 now to do a load of laundry at the washer and dryer facility, probably costs $10 to do my laundry, even if it's just one load, wash and dry. And then I gotta sit there and wait for the shit to get done. I gotta ride my bicycle to and from or walk. So the lack thereof is a big deal. It's a major deal. Distance to the bakery is the same. It's literally the same. There are other places that I could work. There are places I could go and find a job in the town close to where this place is that would save me. That would be a 5 mile. There's plenty of places to look for a part-time job within a 5 mile shot of where this place is. So it's got that. It's in a little bit of a quiet spot. It's just, I wish this, finding a place to live wasn't so hard. It's never been as hard as it is these days. It truly isn't. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else around this place that would help. Well, it's right next to the border of the Sam Houston National Forest, but I don't see anything like where there would be, well, there could be, there's some definite empty patches of woods literally right there. I don't know how you'd access it without going across somebody's private land. There could be some hiking trails like right there. Like I'm looking at some bare patches of woods, and yeah, definitely, there's definitely some interesting stuff near this spot. I think it's worth the ride. In terms of getting halfway there. I don't even need a GPS. Moving costs would be about $200 cheaper, depending on what they want for a security deposit. I'm just assuming it would be 1 month's rent, but sometimes the people in Houston, sometimes they go cheaper than a month's rent on the security deposit. But yeah, the bicycle ride to the place is literally going to go all the way to where I currently work, and then 21 miles north of that. And so like the bakery is exactly halfway between here and the other spot. That's kind of ironic, but it'll in terms of just bicycling alone, I'll get acquainted with another area of town. So 40 of the 80 miles will be interesting because they'll be new territory. Something I haven't ridden before. Something I haven't seen before. It'll give me an idea of what's around in that area. And there's plenty of places to stop and grab a bite to eat that day. I'm not going to go someplace nice because I'll be covered in sweat and salt and everything else. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I'm not even going to worry about that. But yeah, that's a long ride. But if I leave at 10 in the morning, 2 o'clock, with the intent of getting there at 2 o'clock, and then 4-hour drive south, or 10 to 2, I could be home by 6. I could probably be home by 6. Well in advance. No having to I won't have to I won't have to deal with the lights. I'll have plenty of time. But then I'm going to have to get up at 5 in the morning and do it all over again. So I'm just dreading it. I'm dreading it. But if it's for a good cause, if it results in a positive experience for my life, then I'm going to do it. It's worth it if it will result in something positive. I can, if it gets to the point where I can look back and say, wow, remember when I had to ride 80 miles to go find a place to live? maybe that's in my future. I just don't know what I'll do Saturday if the guy calls me and says, I'll let you move in. I'm sick of going on these 80-mile bicycle rides, though. I truly am. It's exactly what I've told you, though. Every 5 landlords that I reach out to, I get one response back. 1 out of every 5 of those, I'll actually go look at a place. So if it's 1 in 5, so that's 5 just to get one response back, times 5 to go find one to look at. That means for every property I've gone to look at, I've contacted 25. And that's about accurate. And I have looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, soon to be 6 places. So that's 150. I could easily say I've reached out to 150 different properties in the last couple of months. Think about the time investment. 150 fucking messages out to places to live to get 30 responses back, and then 6 places to go look at. 3 of which have been a 60-mile ride, an 80-mile ride, an 80-mile ride. Like, I have to pretty much consider that this might be 90 miles on Sunday, because 40 miles, it's 20-ish, it's a little over 20 miles to where I work. It says 21 and a half to get to the other place from there. So it's already 42 miles each way. You add 3 more miles each way, that's a 90-mile bicycle ride Sunday that I get to do. So I'm probably going to be reaching my 2,000-mile goal. It'll be May 18th, 1 year to the day that I became homeless, or that 1 year to the day that I started shooting homeless videos on YouTube. Maybe it's the day that I decide that maybe there's some significance to that. you know, I don't know. I'm always looking for meaning in places where there might not be any, but it is kind of ironic. Um, if it's a true 2-bedroom place, you're just kind of watching me think out loud here. These are the thoughts that I'm going through. I'm going to have to turn around and go back to doing what I was doing in terms of working, getting things done. But this is part of, like, this is all bullshit that I wouldn't have to do if this landlord wasn't such a piece of shit where I live right now. But if this is truly a 2-bedroom place, like, I might be looking at one of the bedrooms right now. This might be like the master bathroom with or master bedroom with its own little bathroom. That's kind of what I'm looking. I see 2 little closets here. They're little too. I don't even know if I could fit storage tubs in these closets. Everything's small. And then I don't know what I'm looking at now. Am I looking outside of that same room? I don't really know what I'm looking at now in this picture. There's like a living room with a kitchen area and what looks like could be like a dining area. It's hard to say. I see another bathroom that's different than the bathroom attached to that bedroom. What is that? That looks different. That don't make, these pictures just don't make any fucking sense. You can't figure it out you can't figure out how this place is laid out by looking at these horrible pictures. Like, I can't even see, like, where's the second, how is this bathroom, where's that in relation to the kitchen? And then what? And then how is there a second bedroom? What do you call, okay, that looks like a second bedroom. It's a small little room. So, I mean, and then there's another bathroom, but is that the same bathroom in this other picture? Okay. So there probably is 2 little bedrooms. I don't know how any of this is set up. This makes no fucking sense, the way this is all. I guess I can kind of see what's what here, but it's not. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. But I can tell from looking at it that for just me to live in there, it's bigger than what I have right now. It would feel more like a home. It has a proper kitchen area. You know, I see lots of cupboards and cabinets in the kitchen. That's good. And there's like a little dining room section, I guess, and it's got cabinets and stuff in there. I don't see a refrigerator, unless that thing that I think is a dishwasher is a refrigerator, like a tiny little fridge. I'm like, where's the refrigerator? I just don't see it. And what about a freezer? If that's a refrigerator, what the fuck? Where's the freezer? Like, I literally cannot see that. That looks like a dishwasher. It don't look like a freezer or a fridge. So if it's got a stove, they have to have a fridge. Come on. But I'm like, I don't see it. These pictures are absolutely horrible. Like, they're some of the worst fucking, it doesn't tell you anything about the place. Like, oh, I see it now. I think that, oh, okay, I see a refrigerator. It's a full-size refrigerator. It's just you can't see this shit in the pictures. But I can see the cabinets cut out around. Yeah, that's a fridge. Okay. It's a full-size refrigerator. Full-size stove, oven combo, coil stove. I hate those, but
It's not that, I mean, you know, whatever. Whatever at that point. It's better than what I got now. There's like a heater. It's like one of those Amish fireplace things that you plug in with the fake furnace looking. I get you could turn that. I mean, you could. It matches the decor of this place for sure. Um, yeah, I'm digging it. I mean, it's got a cool little kitchen island thing, whatever. I don't know what you'd call it. Um, for being a tiny little place, it's kind of cool. If I owned it, I would paint. I would gut it. I wouldn't gut it, but I would paint. I would repaint. I would redo the floors. I would make it look a little more modern, and then do what would you do to the outside? I would paint the outside and put a deck. I'd put a porch on it because that wouldn't cost a lot of money. I'd put skirting around it and just kind of, I would do some landscaping. I would basically just, if I could buy the place, um, I would do, I would do whatever it takes, like to not spend a lot of money, but make the place as nice as possible. Paint, landscaping, elbow grease, and cheap stuff to upgrade, like the flooring. Just put in some sort of like pergo flooring or something like that. Just do some basic stuff like that to the place. Paint good flooring, updated knobs, things that don't cost a lot of money, and then flip that bitch for a profit or rent it out for more than what this person's renting it out for. That would be a flipper upper that you could do a nice flip on this. It's got flipper potential just from looking at it. It's not a bad looking place. It's really not. It's outdated. It's like straight up from the early 80s. That would be that's where I'm pegging it style wise. Early 80s. I went 70s. It seems a little bit late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, I mean, this is like it has a nice, I don't know, I'm looking at it in terms of the map, street view. I should be showing you this stuff while I go through this video instead of just talking about it. But I also want to keep a level of anonymity, and you know, I don't want to just give away the farm here. But I'm just kind of walking you through some of my thought process when I'm looking at stuff like this. It's street view. My internet connection's dog shit today thanks to T-Mobile. Everything's slow. There's a nice little house on one side of it and a nicer house on the other side of it. And so this one's like an eyesore in between. It's got two doors to go outside. You could put a nice porch or something. There's not a lot of privacy from the neighbors. And it's a tiny little spot. But and the lot, the yard, now, it might not look like this today, but the yard looks like shit and the utility pole is all crooked that feeds the place. Um like that's goofy. Like that just looks like shit. Um like I would want to straighten that up. In fact, it looks like somebody's got something to prop it up there. I don't know. I can't tell. It just doesn't look right. It's stupid. Fix the fucking thing. Just get a goddamn shovel and fix it. I see other houses around it, but it is kind of like a campgroundy, RV parky kind of neighborhood. There's some trees on the other side of the street. Somebody's got a nicer piece of property there. But it's a laid back country living kind of place. You can tell just from looking at this. Not a cabin in the woods kind of a situation, but it's not bad. I mean, this isn't really that bad. I just wish I knew. I just wish they had better pictures. But, put better pictures up and you'll get more people coming to look at it. So, no problem there. The less competition, the better. Let's see. Did I get a message back from this person? Looks like I may. Oh, here we go. Oh, the dishwasher doesn't work. Washer and dryer is installed already, and 1 month's rent for the deposit. All right. It doesn't. The dishwasher is not a deal breaker. Maybe it could be fixed. It's possible. Or maybe you could work out, thinking creatively. Maybe you could buy a dishwasher and work out a deal with the landlord. You could find a used dishwasher on Facebook Marketplace for almost nothing. But if I wanted to get crafty, maybe I could fix it. All right, it's done. Sorry you got to sit here and watch me do this. 2 p.m. Sunday, dishwasher doesn't work. Washer and dryer confirmed. It's done. It's like a wave of comes over me when I do something like this, and so this could actually be the one. I don't like, for the amount of money that it's costing, this is the same amount I used to pay in rent at my old house that was beautiful in a fucking dream home. And this is like a little beat up trailer. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same. But gotta start somewhere. I like the swimming area is doing this while I talk. 4.4 miles on the bicycle to go to the swim area to swim with some alligators in a lot. I like going to the little swimming areas at these parks and lakes because they're cleaner usually. Like there's you're not going through knee-deep mud on the side of a lake just to get out to where the water's deeper, or slimy-ass seaweed and stuff like that. So, maybe there's a better swimming hole that I don't know about. Let's see. There's a Dollar General. There's a church. What's near the Dollar General? Probably nothing. Not a whole much at all. There's a church. How far is the Dollar General? Let us see here. Nope. How far is the Dollar General? Come on. Stop. This fucking map app sucks so much ass. Fuck you, Google Maps. Ah. Directions. Click right there. From there. Dollar General is 2.7 miles. You may as well just go to Kroger. If you're going to go 3 miles, you may as well go 5. Get real groceries. Because that's not 2.7 miles. That's like a 3-mile walk each way. That's an hour each way to walk. It's not. So that's the only drawback to this place. The Shotgun House, I could walk to the grocery store. It's less than a mile. Real grocery store, less than a mile away, but I'm going to have to go to a laundromat to do laundry. I feel like the grocery store being a far distance away, but being able to do laundry at home is a better situation than the opposite. So, I don't know. All right. Yeah, totally confirmed. But it is what it is. I'm going to let you guys go. I can't even believe I just put out a video of this. This is the struggle right now, man. I got to make sure that I can pay for it on Sunday. If I can't, if it's like impossible, which it shouldn't be, if it's if I can do it, awesome. If for some reason I can't, I'll make a move on the Shotgun House because it's more affordable for the move-in cost, and I'll just go from there. I just don't think it's the one. But anyway, peace out.